Good evening, explorers and adventurers, and welcome to the 36th episode of the Facite Stories from Parasande. I am your humble game mistress for this evening, Mistress Winter. You can find me at gmistresswinter on a bunch of social sites. Last week was intense, was it not? We had an epic fight, which ended with Serana beating down Simon. While Archie and Finn went to rescue the damsels in distress. Anyway, thank you for being here. We will get into our recap momentarily, but before we do, if you are just joining us for the first time and do not know these lovely people on the screen before you, let's go ahead and get them introduced, starting with Joe.
Oh, hi, I'm Joe. Hi, I didn't see you there. I play Serana, and on most socials you can find me at Mary Happy too. Yeah, there's a bunch of other ones. If you see Joe in the name, it's probably me. It's likely. But yeah, that's me. I'm very excited to not have so few health, hopefully.
Long rest. Yes, please.
I'm gonna take a nap right here. Right now. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you, Joey?
Hi, I'm Joey. I play Finn on Mondays. She is currently laying in the snow somewhere. Have another character on hiatus. Sometimes I do art and cosplay at Prince Perry Pastille on Twitter and TikTok. And yeah, I'm excited for this session.
I am too. And I do want to point out that I really appreciate the consistency and dedication that you and Abby have put into making sure that you are portraying your characters in cosplay. I think, Serana, we had you last week.
I'm muted. Yes, I had my cloak.
Yep.
And I was wearing something else too, but I was like
ears
prepared.
Ears.
Oh, I had my ears. Yeah, I can't really wear those.
Yep. No, the headphones kind of. I need to get some really good earbuds because honestly, headphones just make my head hurt. Anyway.
Samesies.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Joey. Abby.
Hello, everyone. I am Abby Marie Carter, a New York-based aspiring actor, writer, and all-around huge nerd. I play Aheerah every Monday, and I'll tell you about the other stuff I do later. If you want to get in contact with me, I am on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter and on a bunch of different Discords at Abby Marie Carter. And I might show up in the Twitch chat, as I did a lot last week because I was freaking out the entire time, at Abby Marie Carter. I am terrified for tonight's session to see the fallout of things that have been happening. And I'm really happy that my character's in a session because she almost did it.
Well, thank you, Abby. And last but absolutely not least, our technical director and lovable Archie, Dennis.
Hi, I am in the correct square now. Apologies for screwing that up again 2 weeks in a row. Hi, I'm Dennis. I run the OKSDM YouTube channel where I make mistakes running games so you don't have to. But tonight, instead of running the games, I get to play in them. That's one of my favorite parts about this campaign. One of many. So I will be playing Archie, who is living proof that sometimes splitting the party does work.
It absolutely does. And I personally am glad that it went the way it did, because I would have hated to have murdered Serana and Aheerah.
It was close.
It was close.
We
It
would have
was-
hated to be murdered, so the
Yeah, you know.
feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
It's not even you're not even like shying away from the, oh, it's not my fault. The world was and everything in it is the reason that your
It's the
characters
dice.
were about to die. No, I did it. I murdered them.
I wanted it to be a challenge, so I made it particularly difficult.
It's fine.
He's trying to kill us all. Help.
Hey, if you survived, then you deserved it.
And there's going to be
I
a
feel like we
harder
deserve
fight
a level
next.
up for that. I don't know.
Maybe you'll get one soon.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'll just withhold it because you said something. No, I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. All right, let's roll into that intro video and we'll get into tonight's episode of The Facite, Stories from Parasande. And welcome back. Last time on The Facite, we finished out a very long and intense combat where the Threadchasers faced down a surprise villain, Simon, who had kidnapped not only Kiberly, but also Kamsa, secreting them away to a place unknown, which our group attempted to discern, but Simon instead decided to reveal something else. Their true nature, being an undead creature of ice. The battle was particularly taxing, and halfway through, Simon unleashed their secret plan and jeopardized the lives of the kidnapped girlfriends in blowing up their own house. The party split. Archie and Finn went to rescue the damsels in distress, while Aheerah and Serana faced down Simon in that final combat. While Aheerah was valiant in her fight, she did fall, but Serana came to the rescue, pulling again on fire, born from her connection to a particular celestial, and laid Simon to waste. Now an ice sculpture. The group reconvened at the house after Archie and Finn had pulled the ladies from the fire and collapsed out front.
The group didn't reconvene.
Oh,
No, we're still
Oh,
no.
okay.
We're still
We're
split.
still in the snow.
Has the group reconvened now?
Yeah.
I have a thing I want to do first, but sure.
Okay. What did you want to do?
I would like to roll a strength check and push this ice
Strength.
sculpture over the cliff.
Yes.
Can I assist? I'd like to assist.
Can I get some aid?
Yes. All right, Serana, you're going to be the main role, and then Aheerah, you're going to add a +2.
Okay, is it's strength that I need to do?
Yep, it's athletics.
Okay. Athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a good one in athletics, but we'll
I know
try
you
it. Hey, you know,
I
I'm
have a good
angry. I'm
I
really
mean,
weak.
I don't know
I'm
that
an-
this
I'm an
necessarily
expert in
needs to be a check,
athletics.
because
Can I
There's
just
no-
can we
there's
can
no
we
risk
rule of
to
cool
it.
it?
Yeah? Like, I don't know
Great.
that this needs to be a check because there's no, like, risk involved here.
Oh, so we
Uh,
just do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, even though you may be battered and beaten, you push and shove what remains of Simon through the snow to the edge of the cliff before, with one last effort, shove them into the awaiting abyss. You listen for a moment, trying to catch your breath, and you hear the statue clatter and smash on the rocks as it falls.
I would ask if you're okay, but I'm not okay. We should probably go.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Uh-huh.
Should probably
Okay.
find the others. We don't even know if they're okay.
Nope. Is the smoke still visible?
It is.
I would assume.
In fact, it has grown exponentially larger, wider, blacker.
Don't love that.
Don't love that. We'll head that way.
All right. You race through town, concerned about the fates of your companions, of lovers, and using the smoke as a beacon in which to find the location. Skidding out of an alley, you come across the burning structure that was once Simon's abode. It is completely consumed at this point. Archie and Finn, where are you with Kiberly and Kamsa?
I think Archie or Kamsa is sitting across the road in like a snowbank, leaning against the opposite building. And Archie is lying down, wounded slightly, but he just has his head in her lap.
I think Finn would have, if we haven't done it already, pulled like a blanket or the bedroll out of her bag, maybe set Kiberly up to be comfortable, and then just is curled up in a ball in the snow somewhere, just like a little bit off.
Kiberly has not spoken a word since she was extracted. Coughs, sputters, trying to get the smoke out of her lungs, but beyond that, not said a word.
When Archie sees Aheerah and Serana approaching, he is going to stand up and try to intercept them before they get to our party. amazing. You're hurt.
alive.
Here, let me see if I can. And you're both like super heavily injured, yeah?
Oh
I
yeah,
have 18 hit points.
I
and
have
that's only
19.
because Sarana healed me.
Mhm.
Aheerah looks like death, essentially. Like she almost maybe died for a second.
We look bad.
We look bad.
We look really bad.
We're like
I will
leaning on
do-
each other, I feel like. Supporting each other. It's
You
bad.
have splotches, even though you've received some healing. You still have large splotches of any exposed skin that is just blackened like frostbite, and it is painfully numb. As contradictory as that sounds.
Super fun. for
I'm
us.
going to use my last 2 spell slots to heal each of you once. 15 for Sarana and 9 for Aheerah.
Nice. That some of that black recedes, and some of the healthier tones are restored to the skin.
Where's Finn?
Finn's okay. We found Kamsa and Kiberly, but before you can... There's something you need to know. Simon was hiding them inside his house. We found Kamsa upstairs chained to a pipe. Kiberly had a much rougher go of it. Be careful. Be gentle.
What does that mean? Not sure if I go with it.
She's spent the last several days at least in excruciating pain. I know that you are probably the only thing on her mind right now. Go to her, but be gentle.
Where is she?
I'll gesture over to Kiberly and Finn.
I will slowly make my way over.
I'm gonna dive next to Finn. Are you okay? You're curled up in a ball. Are you okay? You're muted.
Yeah, you are.
Why is this not working?
There you go.
Fine, you
it
speak
is.
up. Everything hurts. I'm fine. I just... I need a moment. The adrenaline's gone.
Okay. I'm just gonna lay down.
Okay, I'm
And
glad you're
she's just
okay.
gonna lay down right next to you. Close my eyes for a little bit.
Kiberly is curled in on herself. And goblins having larger heads, her ears poke out from her knees barely cover her face.
I will walk up and first, stop by Finn first, essentially, to give her a hug. before kind of turning to Kiberly and just hesitate for a very long moment before taking a couple steps closer to her and just going, Kiberly?
She does not respond.
I will move closer to her very, very slowly. Not so much like trying not to scare her, and more so I'm nervous and don't know what to expect.
Just from your perspective and what little of her that you can see, she's wearing tattered clothing, clothing that you've seen her perform in, or at least pieces of it, and she must have been wearing this for a very long time. It's dirty and ragged, and it is heavily stained dark. It has very dark stains. You can see wounds of all levels of freshness. Slashes mostly. Some have already started to scar, some of them are just healed. Some of them are very fresh.
Okay. Ooh, noticing all of that, I will definitely, there will be a sharp intake of breath. And I will just drop down next to her. I will say her name again, and I will go to gently touch her on a part of her that I deem either not wounded or the least wounded.
Give me a diplomacy.
Oh my god! Oh god. Oh. Oh no.
Hero point?
I rolled a 4, but I have a +1. That's what I'm thinking. I only have 1.
I don't think there's gonna be
Should
a
I
way
hero
to
point
roll
Sir
it?
that.
Chandler has granted you a hero point.
I guess I will use 1 on this.
Of course.
It's a 4 again.
And so the dice gods said, and it be so.
I mean, technically, I do have 1 because of this session, so that was
Yes.
like, so I could just use it again.
Yes.
We'll get into combat again. I'm so fucking mad.
Is it 4?
It's a 5.
The dice gods are like, okay, you want to play?
You gotta stop, man. It's not gonna get better.
So that would be a 15.
Kiberly reacts not violently, but yanks herself away as if she's just been burned. And in the split second or two that you have to see her face as she scrambles away to hide herself again, her face is a wreck. It is a bloody mess.
It's too early in the session to be crying.
Cam's with her head in Archie's lap, pulls herself up. I don't know what he was doing. They were doing. But there were screams. And if you hadn't gotten us out of there, I would have probably been next. They only took me recently.
And I had Kiberly for weeks. I will move myself closer to Kiberly after she has pulled herself away. I won't touch her, but I will sit as close to her as possible without touching her.
She's moved into a position, sitting, her knees curled up as high as she can make them to hide all but her eyes. Her gaze is wild, looking about.
Is she shivering?
Yes.
I will take off my cloak and wrap it around her best as I can without touching her.
She flinches and tries to scramble away further, but being backed into a corner, she has nowhere to go.
When I see her start scrambling away, I'll just, you're cold. Please let me wrap you in this.
She's all but trembling now, hiding her face the best she can.
I will drape the cloak over her and then kind of retreat back into my sitting position beside her without touching her.
Is anyone paying attention to us, or are we just... Is anyone around?
Oh, the burning building has certainly drawn plenty of attention. And the guards and local volunteers have arrived on scene to contain the blaze. The house is lost cause. there are a few onlookers who do take interest in those that were either saved or the saviors. But as nobody's figured out what has actually happened yet, it's just more curiosity and...
I would like to sit in a way that is shielding Kiberly from prying eyes.
Okay.
I will turn to Kamsa. You going to be alright here for a moment?
Yes. I'll be fine, regardless of my now track record.
Be right back. And I will scamper away to retrieve probably the most important thing we can get right now. And I'll come back with it shortly.
Okay.
I am going to kind of prop myself up on my elbows. Finn, we said that we told them that we'd tell them when we found Kiberly. Should we?
Her family can't see her like this. I don't know what to do.
She's safe. I don't know. I can... How far away are we from the hearth?
About a 10-minute walk.
When Archie gets back, we should discuss it. I don't want them to find out that we've had her and they didn't know about it. I know she looks bad.
I think she needs to go to the medical ward or something.
We all do. Oh. Yeah, we probably all should, especially her. I think, not that I want to go all by myself, I could probably get there faster on my own and just go get them and take them to the medical ward once you guys go take her there or something. I don't know. If I was them, I would want to know, and I'd want to see that she's safe. I don't know.
How long does it take you, Archie?
Not long.
Okay.
Archie comes back carrying 2 piping hot bowls of soup. Hands one to Kiberly, or hands one to Kamsa first, and then hands one to Aheerah.
I'm so not okay right now. I will gratefully take the bowl of soup from Archie and just kind of whisper a very choked out thank you. And then turn myself towards Kiberly and just, I think you should eat just a little something. I can turn away if that'll make you more comfortable.
Give me another diplomacy.
Oh, I don't want to give you another diplomacy. Oh, 23.
She hides under the cloak, trembling heavily.
What do I need to roll?
It might have gotten harder.
Can I use my shared luck trait from the halfling feature? Or is it too late for that?
I mean, normally I would say yes, but in this particular case, there's extenuating circumstances as to why she's not eating soup at this
Okay.
moment.
You got another hero point, Aheerah.
Aw.
Vampire bites.
And
come
it
to
came
your
to
aid.
your aid.
Ayo!
Or a 25, maybe?
Or I can just re-roll and add the +2.
But would a 25 do it?
Or I can roll again. I don't know. That's why I like. Well, should I just save it? Because I'm gonna keep trying with her.
That's
I'm
why.
assuming
But-
I'm gonna get. I don't know. I feel like it's too late to use a hero point for that roll. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will save both of those. Thank you so much, Vampire Bites, because this is not going.
Yes. Hmm.
I will set the soup bowl down in front of her. And then I will turn my back to her, but like still sitting in front of her, shielding her from prying eyes.
Finn or Archie, give me a medicine.
Real good at that. Unless I roll a nat 1. Hero point, please. And re-roll
Yeah, the ones
for
will...
24.
A lot better.
Finn?
I got +11. I'll give it a go. It is a did I say 11?
Yeah.
It is a 29.
Yeah.
18.
Ayo!
When you were the one who pulled cams out, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Archie, you would have taken note of being a, physician yourself, or surgeon, or however you like to label yourself. You would have noted that there was extensive wounds around Kiberly's mouth. And drinking soup is probably going to be very difficult. Not to mention, Finn, this is where your check's going to come in. Kiberly is showing all the signs of PTSD and is caught in a trauma loop right now. All that from your nice college education. Because in Parasande, we study psychology.
Archie, I'm no doctor. We definitely can't take her home, but it's gonna take some time. And I think she'll turn to Kamsa and be like, Is there anyone on staff that's more, focuses on the mental side of things?
Unfortunately, we don't have those kinds of resources. Some of us have remedial training in some of the in therapy, but not to this extent.
I understand. Well, I guess
Would you be knowledgeable about such things?
Well, book learning, yes, but I'm no doctor, but
It's more than any of us got.
I'll do my best.
We should.
Does any of this information get shared with Aheerah?
I feel like we're all close enough. Are we all close enough to each other?
Within earshot.
Like spread out. Yeah.
Well,
all-
it's also are we following like HIPAA rules and we're
Are we
keeping
following
patient
HIPAA?
information like really close to the vest?
I think
yeah,
it's less of a
it's a-
question of whether we're like too far away for Aheerah to hear us, and more of a question of, is Aheerah listening?
Yes, that is why
That's a good
I
point.
said, is anyone sharing this information with Aheerah?
Gotcha.
It's
Okay,
really
yeah.
cute that y'all think she's paying attention to anything else
You're
except
right,
for her
though.
traumatized goblin girlfriend.
Well, so Aheerah, you did turn your back, so you would see them talking. So whether or not you,
I don't think
okay,
it'd be real convenient if I would listen, but I don't.
Then
You're disassociating right now. It's okay.
You would.
yeah.
Archie will approach Aheerah and explain that there's not a lot she can do right now. Finn, I think, might know more about this type of injury than me. I know that she might not be able to eat or drink without pain for some time.
What do I do then?
Take her to a place where she can be comfortable.
I don't know where that is. She's not gonna want to go home. She doesn't even want me to touch her.
Someone's gonna have to, because we can't leave her in the street.
Well, obviously I'm not gonna leave her in the street, and I'm willing to be the one to touch her, but I'm just expressing the fact that every time I've gotten semi-close to her, she freaks out.
GM, in the first downtime that we had, I spent time helping out around town, providing medical services for those who didn't have the means to obtain them.
Sure, yeah.
Is the building that I worked that operation out of nearby?
Didn't you set up your own like tent next to the physical therapy area?
I don't remember if we put the details in or not. If that's the case, then that won't help.
I believe that's what we had established, that you had set up an adjacent tent situation next to the physical rehabilitation clinic, and
Okay.
yeah. Oh, poor Lillian Rose comes in and is like, what, trauma?
It is Lilium Rose's birthday today, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday! So
Happy
sorry, it's trauma.
birthday. Welcome to Trauma. This is my gift to you. I can celebrate you when I want. Because you're amazing. Keep.
If I may, sometimes if patients were in excruciating pain, sometimes we would give them herbs and poultices to make them drowsy. Perhaps we can give her one or use a spell that might render her unconscious so we can transport her.
You know where we can get those? I don't have any magic left in me today, and I don't have those herbs on hand.
I know some people. I will go find them.
Not alone, you're
I will
not.
come with you.
Before you do, Archie,
Mm-hmm.
if this were me, I would want my family to know where I'm at. What do we do?
We tell them the
Nothing.
truth. I think they should know that she's safe now, but went through something traumatic, and she doesn't want to see them right now.
Finn? Can you
Yes,
stay here with Aheerah and Kiberly?
stand on it. I'll see what I can do.
I'm gonna go to the hearth.
Good luck.
Good
You
luck.
too.
And in here you're staying with Kiberly, correct? Yeah, figured as much. All right. No,
Excuse me.
I was just confirming. All right. Cams and Archie will hurry off toward the east side of the Facite. They have begun construction on a new medical ward, but it's slow going. She will point out that there is a nurse that she's pretty close with who will who can provide some of those herbs and such. It's really good to see you, though. I don't think I'll ever stop coughing.
You will. Just give it some time. Don't feel like you have to talk.
Now, sometimes I think I'm just gonna. I just need to carry around some poultices to make me fire resistant, because this is becoming way too regular.
Once is too often. Twice is...
Bad
I think
luck.
You're right.
She laughs along with you, but you can see a little bit of a twinge of pain in her gaze, you know, considering that she still bears a lot of the scarring from the first incident.
I hate to lump more on you right now, but I think there's something we need to talk about.
She stops. Okay.
I'll stop and turn around and face her.
Sounds ominous.
I think it might be something you've already been aware of or thought of, but if we continue seeing each other, this might happen again. And it is... I would love to keep
Watch
seeing
the chat
you.
explode. Sorry, I'm just watching the chat explode.
I would love to keep seeing you.
Her tail begins to twitch with agitation, belying all of the anxious thoughts that are now rushing through her head.
But if I do, then this might happen again. It's happened twice already. And I want you to be aware of that risk. If we keep doing this.
First of all, thank you for not taking my choice away from me. If you had simply drawn the line and walked away, we would have words. I would have words, and you would swallow every one of them. I appreciate your concern for my well-being. It is not not wholly unwarranted, considering. But it can't have been for nothing. What I've been through, my scars, hidden or not, I'm not going to throw away what we have because of we're afraid. I'm not afraid. And I want to continue to be with you. Assuming you think that we're worth it.
I will grab her hand, pull her down, and with my other hand grab the back of her neck and kiss her.
Oh. her tail does one of those like cartoon like sticks out straight kind of things, and just in reflex, as her entire body tenses, but for only that split second, and then she melts into it and leans into you, trying to find that balance of leaning into the kiss but not pushing you down on your ass. Her whiskers intermingle with yours. And when you finally part, her eyes flutter open and her ears go from that like leaned back, having just melted to her head kind of thing to coming back up. Let's go take care of your friend.
I'll keep holding her hand as we walk towards the herbs.
Okay. That process will be pretty easy. The nurse is happy to provide, gets the tincture put together and hands it off free of charge. Favor to a friend, and you'll head on back. Finn and Sarana.
Oh, Finn's back with
Aheerah.
Oh, I thought the two of you were going. Okay, all right.
nope.
All right, and just Sarana then.
Can okay, this is gonna sound like a stretch. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna do it anyway. Never mind. I'm just gonna walk. I'm walking. We're good. I'm walking. I'm walking.
And we're walking. And
we're walking. She is going to very hesitantly open the curtain to the hearth when she gets there.
Three sets of eyes turn in your direction. Krelikis, Loth, and Izzy.
God damn it, Joey. Comment section is fire tonight. I'm laughing so I don't cry. She's just gonna stand there and she is still visibly not good.
Sure.
Still does not look great. Before I say this, I need you to promise me that you're not gonna run and try to find her right now. Promise me.
Izzy leaps up as fast as she can, considering she still looks exhausted, and Krelikis is quick to steady her.
We found her. It's really bad. It's really bad. I don't know where they're gonna take her, since the medical ward doesn't really exist anymore. But as soon as I know, I'll tell you. I don't know if you want to see her like this. It is.
Izzy tries to break free from Krelikis. Take me to her.
Izzy.
I don't care. Calm. Be calm, my love. Kiberly is family, and it is best that we, as a family, be together, regardless of the circumstances.
I just didn't want you guys to not know. I would have wanted to know if it was me, and I hate that I can't take you to her right now.
Can't or won't? This is the first time that Krellicus's face has a hint of anger in it.
She will lock eyes with him. I won't. Because you shouldn't see her like this. But if you want to. I can't stop you.
Then tell us where she is.
I'll just take you. I don't know what that part of here is called. You'll know it when we walk inside.
Good. Enough. Loth springs into action, pulling out these go bags, essentially, and tosses one to Krellicus, helps Izzy into another, puts one on themselves, and just Loth walks up and just looks at you and communicates silently, lead the way. And
okay. And I will turn around and walk them back.
Okay. The tincture will take a little bit of time, especially with the travel time, so Serana and the doves will get there first.
I was afraid of that.
That is unless you want to. That is unless you want to try and obscure the way so that you take a longer route. That is up to you.
I wouldn't. I couldn't. But before we get there, a few paces before we turn the corner, she'll stop.
Everybody kind of stops short.
I'm sorry. I'm glad that we found her and that she's alive, but I'm sorry.
Just take us to her.
Just
whatever is done is not your responsibility.
Just don't go too fast, okay? And she'll round the corner.
Round the corner, and they'll spot Finn and Aheerah first. Which, in the intervening time, were there any particular changes? Anything that either of you had wanted to do? Finn?
I imagine trying her best at least. Finn would have, if Aheerah is standing kind of like in the way, I guess like kind of like blocking the street or whatever, Finn would sit from a distance, but try to sit facing Kiberly, speaking very calmly, softly.
Hmm.
I'm Finn. You are safe. Simon can't hurt you anymore. And just repeating, we're gonna take you somewhere. We're gonna ease the pain. Just stay with my voice, okay? You don't have to talk.
Give me a medicine check. Medicine or diplomacy, whichever one's better.
Diplomacy.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a hero point because it's a 5.
Oof.
Seems the other dice wants to be friendly. I'm having the Abby effect.
Oh no. Oh no, and we've called it the Abbey effect. Oh no.
We can't
fives
call it
with-
that.
Oh,
cannot call it that.
That's just mean. No matter how true.
That's too mean. That's
It's
so mean.
a 17, either way.
I love you, Abby. Don't hate me.
I love you, Abby.
I'm gonna go hide in the corner and cry.
No. Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
We got to 17, folks. That's it.
Being unconfident in this field of study, you are going by rote what you've read, and none of it seems to be having an effect. Aheerah, did you want to do anything in that particular time frame? You had about 20 minutes or so.
I'm sorry.
Does Wheaton have notoriously bad rolls?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Matt Mercer is the one who talked about how like it is unbelievable how bad his rolls are. I wonder if I give either of them a run for their money. Anyway. Okay. Kiberly sings, right? And I've heard her sing a lot.
Yes. Though she's particularly, a lot of her performances are oratory, poem recitation, and epic poems and stuff, the like. Nope, we lost you.
No.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, Reggie.
Jinkies.
Oh, wait. Foundry's music stopped.
Oh, that was me. That was me.
Okay, good. Okay.
Technical difficulties, please hold.
Mm-hmm.
Would now be
Oh,
a good
no.
time for a break?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep, I guess so.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, babes.
All right. Well, yes, let's go ahead and take a break while Abby sorts out her technical issues. We will give it 15. 10 or 15?
Yeah, back at 30.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll be back at the half hour while we figure this stuff out. All right, folks. We love you. We'll see you in about 15 at the half hour. Aheerah, now that we can hear you, what were you doing?
Is there a particular song that Kiberly would sing a lot, or I would hear her humming, or something like that I might remember? They did go to her shows quite often.
Well, there is that one you learned very early on.
There is that one. I think as I'm standing there, I would just hum it as a way to calm myself, which does not work, but also try to, I don't know, give her some semblance of reality.
Give me a performance
Oh no.
as if you were trained.
As if I was trained.
Yes.
So that's a plus.
I don't
How
know what that
much?
is.
So that's plus your level, plus your charisma, plus 2.
So the trained portion is just plus your level.
Is it?
Proficiency?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Wait, so I have a +2 in performance because of, I think, my charisma modifier?
Yes.
You're getting an additional +6 on top.
Oh,
of that.
yeah. Remember, you also have that aid.
Yes. So it's +2, +6.
No, I'm totally right. Trained is level plus 2, plus your ability modifier.
Oh. So it's just a +10. You just get a +10 total.
And plus...
And aid?
Yes, plus
So it's
2
plus,
for the aid
like,
that Vampire
a
Bite
plus
sent you.
12?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Uh-huh.
Remember, Vampire Bites also gave you a hero point, too.
Like, can I use the +2 on that?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean, all the same modifiers.
Use it all.
Well, now I'm scared. I rolled an 11.
Okay.
I could do better, but I could do so much worse.
You have a 45% chance of doing better.
But I rolled a 23 for something, for the last time I did fucking something, and it didn't do anything at all.
And this is another 23.
I'm not going to give you any indication of whether you succeeded or failed until you decide whether or not you're using that hero point.
Throw me a bone. What if I do worse, though?
It'll
on
just
hero
add to the
points-
story.
In hero points, it's not take the better roll. It is you re-roll and take the second
Yeah, I
one.
believe you take the
Okay.
second one.
That's what I thought. Otherwise, I will fucking re-roll this right now.
Yeah, you must use the second result.
Okay.
Well, it's not diplomacy. It's different. So
And
I'm
then-
not. The 23 is not diplomacy. This 23 is not diplomacy, so
Right,
it might
yeah,
be
it's
different.
a different check, yeah.
So it might do something different, even though I rolled the same as I rolled before. Because I'm going about it in a different way, and it might not necessarily be harder.
It might
And
even
it's
be easier.
something that's close. It's something that's important to Kiberly too. So.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna take the 23
You're gonna take the 23.
and save the 1 hero point from vampire bites.
Okay. You begin to hum the tune. The essentially child's lullaby. And with your back to her, you're not even sure what reaction she might be having. Finn, you've been trying for a few minutes to vocally coax Kiberly out of the trauma loop. Nothing seems to get through until Aheerah starts to hum. Then very slowly, the trembling under the cloak softens. There's a slow shifting as Kiberly alms and just leans against Aheerah's back. And for a few minutes, you are locked in that place of safety and peace. Then Serana and the doves burst around the corner. And Izzy caught up in the need to be with her wife, calls out, and Kiberly retreats back into the shell. Krelicus, or actually, Serana, I'd like you to give me a reflex save.
Okay. Let's see. That's a 27.
Izzy is diving toward Kiberly. You have the opportunity to grab her before she gets there.
I'm taking it.
Okay. You react quickly and grab the little goblin lady before she overdoes it. And Krelicus steps up to help you calm the frantic Izzy. What happened? What are her injuries?
Some of them are still unknown. She was tortured for as long as she's been gone.
Orchard? Izzy begins to sob uncontrollably.
Finn's gonna kind of limp run up to them.
I tried to stop them.
Blocking.
I tried. They wouldn't listen to me. And she's like holding on, like gripped tight to Izzy. I tried. They wouldn't hear it.
I understand. Kiberly is in a very fragile state right now, and she needs time. And I'm not trained. I don't even know what that means. But we just need to stay calm.
We'll find someone who is.
Until then, we should take her home. She needs to be at home with her family.
Krelicus, she has other injuries that she needs to be tended to.
And
She won't let any of us touch her.
We will find a way to... We'll find a...
You'll make it worse.
Kyurgin or...
Archie and Kamsa, who was also captured, have gone off to find some herbs that might calm her down, and then we can make a move. Until then,
she's a lot like a soldier returning from war. I know that's a bad comparison, but
all the more reason she should be with family, where she is safe and
won't
loved.
let anyone touch her, and she won't let anyone look at her.
Serana is going to look at Krelicus and cast message. And in the most, pleading look of despair that she could possibly pass off. Please, just trust us. I'm begging you.
Give me a diplomacy.
Oh, I got excited. I thought I had a +10 to that. I don't. Oh, no. Ooh, okay. It's not going to do it, but I rolled a 15.
What's your total?
15. That's the
that's
total.
your total. Oh, okay. Well, you said you rolled a 15. That's not...
No, I rolled a 13. But I just got an aid from Vampire Bites. Hee.
Oh, and a hero point.
And a hero point. Thank you, Vampire Bites.
Thank you.
That means so much. So that would make it what, 17?
With the come to their aid, yep.
Yeah, I'll stick with it. No, I won't. I could roll worse. I could do so much worse, but it would be so much. Okay, I'm gonna reroll it.
Okay.
Okay, it's 2 better. So I rolled a 15 this time plus 17.
So 17.
Do I get to add the 8 on this one, or did I use it beforehand?
Yeah. No,
okay, so that's
it's the same. All the same modifiers. Yeah.
So that's
19.
19. Sticking to it.
That flicker of makes his gaze twitch a little bit before you see him reconsider and actually listen. And his gaze searches yours for promises that it's going to get better. And absence of them, he looks back at where Kiberly is curled up and shivering, his face falling into just sadness and concern, then resignation. Very well.
If it's a consolation, as soon as you're able to visit.
To be clear, we're not trying to stop you from seeing her. I just think it would be best if you didn't bring her home right now.
She may flinch when touched. She may cower at the slightest of noises. We don't...
We know you. We trust you. You found her. Do what you must to bring her back to us. And he will coax Izzy away. Loth covering the rear, just giving a silent, respectable nod before they too follow.
I will turn to Serana. I'm still blocking Kiberly from view. I'm essentially standing guard and I am not leaving my post. But I will turn my gaze on Serana. And this is probably... You've seen me get angry before, but never any of you. And there is definitely some anger and some frustration. Mainly guilt, but it's coming out as anger and frustration and just, you weren't supposed to bring them here.
I tried to stop them and they wouldn't listen.
What? I just don't understand what you possibly could have told him. Or not told them, not explained to them, that would have them come running. Now they're broken all over again.
They needed to know she was okay, in the sense that she's alive, and that I couldn't have held that from them.
That's easy for you to say, because it's not your fault.
Okay.
She's like this because of me. Her family is suffering because of me. And all we did was make it worse. Except now they know she's alive, I suppose. And that's when Aheerah will break down completely.
And I think that's a good time for Kamsa and Archie to return.
Aheerah would just be, I'd be using my needle spear as, like, yes, something in case anything happens, but also to hold myself up, because I'm still very hurt. I only have 20-something hit points, so, like, it's really not good.
Same.
Ow. And I would just be the like broken, dry sobs, but like and crying, but without tears because I can't cry. He's still in front of Kiberly, and that is what Kamsa and Archie would return to.
Mhm.
So Rana also looks visibly angry. And also very distraught. She's just very not okay.
Finn standing silently between them, the two just looking just defeated, just trying to make sure at least they keep distance, at the very least.
Well, we missed something. Archie, do you have any needles, anything?
He nods. Takes his
She'll
hand out of hers.
hold out her paw.
He takes some of the necessary equipment out of his medical bandolier and hands it to her.
I honestly don't think that we're going to be able to get her to drink this. So she dips the needle into the tincture and gets it nice and coated. Just make sure she doesn't thrash too much.
Of course.
And we'll quickly stick Kiberly through the cloak with the needle to get the tincture in via injury. And then she does it a couple more times just to make sure it takes. And with each one, Kiberly eventually subsides and goes quiet.
As soon as she's out, and during that time, I would be standing watching and trying to calm myself down. I think I'd be able to calm myself down to like weak sobs and sniffling, but still very visibly like not doing great.
Sure.
And I would just scoop Kiberly up and cradle her. And take like a very, very shaky breath and just, where to?
We can, if you have the coin, I'm sure we can find a private room, a place where she'll feel safe and isolated until she feels ready to rejoin the world at large.
We have the coin.
Then perhaps my friend can rent us a room and they can nurse her back to health. As far as the psychological damage, we'll need to find a specialist.
Could write a letter, try to reach out. It'll take some time, a few weeks.
Of course. But until then, let's get her comfortable and taken care of. true to her word, Kamsa will approach a friend, Andri, the same one you got the tincture from. He has a spare room available that would do nicely. Kamsa and Andri will make sure that Kiberly is comfortable, asleep, and stitched up, wounds cared for.
Archie will pace the building. Back doors, front entrances, windows.
The guest room in question is on the north side of the house, one window on the second floor. 2 doors in from adjacent rooms. The house itself is that octagonal shape. Beyond that, kind of standard dwelling.
I don't think I'd leave Kiberly's side unless forced to, and even then, I would essentially be waiting right outside the door.
Andri will encourage you to be outside for while he tends to her wounds. And will report when he finishes patching her up.
Would he force me out? Because really and truly,
He has no ability to keep you out other than strong suggestion. But
I might stand in the corner, but after everything that's been going on, her being missing for weeks and it being my fault, I'm not much inclined to let her out of my sight,
Sure.
especially not with someone I don't know. So unless physically forced out by someone, could be my friends, could be someone else, I don't think I'd leave the room.
Okay. Then you will watch as he works, stitching up some of the larger wounds on her body. For the rest of the team, he has places in his house that you can rest, as he sees you're very exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
But he will stitch up the larger wounds, get them to stop bleeding, bandage them up. It's around her face that the most egregious wounds are. Perhaps taking her tongue would have been more efficient. Simon was a little bit more sadistic than that. And
Do you have any wounds on her throat?
no.
Okay.
But her lips are cut almost to ribbons. And Henri has to take quite a bit of time and careful consideration on mending those and stitching them up properly without them tearing or being further injured.
I will sit/stand there and watch the whole thing.
Okay. For the other three, you have been given a chance to relax, to rest, as you haven't slept in over 24 hours, or some
Nope.
of you anyway.
We'll take neighboring rooms if possible.
Yeah. Kamsa will crash with Archie and Finn and Serana. You can bunk down how you wish.
I will collapse wherever. I will, as stern as she can be, suggest to Serana that we rest now. We all see a doctor tomorrow.
Yeah.
I won't bother Aheerah, but
in all of this, I don't think that I've told you what happened to Simon.
no.
It feels so much better thinking about it now that I know what he's done, what they've done. Somehow, I turned them into a statue. And then Aheerah and I pushed them over the edge. And I don't think that sound, that is the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. After seeing what they did. And she's... I did what I thought was right. And now she's upset with me.
I'm not the best at this. They needed to know. And Aheerah is allowed to be angry. We're all tired. I don't think Simon can reanimate after this.
I don't think that those pieces are gonna come back together.
We all need a lot of time and patience going forward. We're alive. She's alive. And that's the best we could have asked for right now, all things considered.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to maybe meditate a little bit before I go to sleep, Finn. So you can go ahead and hit the sack. I'll be there.
Okay. Try not to be too angry at yourself.
It's fine. I've done worse.
Get some sleep.
I will. I promise. And she'll kind of sneak off and let Finn go to sleep. But I would definitely like to try to talk to Valerine.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out.
And I have some fun feats that I get to use.
Yeah?
So I have ritualistic dedication. Getting a +2 circumstance bonus to performing a ritual. And then I also have but that's I don't really need that. Used to it. Resourceful ritualist. That's mostly for something that's outside of my skill. But it says I can attempt checks to cast a ritual that require expert proficiency if I'm trained, master proficiency if I'm an expert, or legendary if I'm proficient.
Right.
Legendary proficiency. Anyway, whatever you would like me to do, I have those 2 feats, and I will use my feats.
All right. Then you can give me an occult check.
Oh,
Plus your 2 to perform a ritual, because I assume that you're gonna pull out some incense, maybe.
We pulling out all the stuff.
Crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pulling it all out. I may be exhausted and not even like almost at half health, but by gods, we're doing this. Okay, so that's okay. Oh, I'm using my hero point to re-roll that.
Okay.
I still have 1. I can definitely roll better than that. I rolled a 4. Oh lordy! Okay, that is 15 plus numbers. That's 15 plus 14. 29.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Is that the one I want? Nope, that's not the one I want. There we go. Performing your ritual, you call out to the avatar Sephilarine. Her presence ever abundant throughout the snowfields. As you stare into the crystal that you're using in your ritual, the image within shifts from your reflection to that of Sephilarine, who seems to settle down in front of you. You are troubled.
I feel
Feel what?
I feel lost. Almost. Like so much has happened. And I thought I was making the right choice. I thought I was being peaceful. I could have said, I had so many things that I could have said. And I was so angry. And none of that changes the fact that they're still hurt. And it felt really good. Really right to take Simon's life. And that's terrifying. What if I'm not capable of being peaceful? What then?
All of us are capable of peace, of rage, righteousness, injustice, greed, guilt. It is all part of the mortal experience. So when we are faced with these decisions, it is a choice. A choice to be peaceful. A choice to be violent. It does. The action in and of itself is not indicative of who you are. The reasons behind your actions, the level of responsibility you take for those actions, all of that, all of those layers will paint the picture of who you are. Now, that is not to say that you do not have external influence. Now, sure, society and the things that others choose to do influence our actions and our feelings. But you are especially susceptible to certain influences of the mystical sort. You are a child of fire. Born of a bloodline that is skewed towards fire and vengeance. However, that is not an excuse. It is simply a challenge something to either overcome or to embrace. Just know that if you choose to overcome it, it will not be an easy choice to make. It will not be an easy road to walk. And I can help. But that is a choice you have to make as well.
I'll think on it.
Very well.
Also, just have any general world updates? You know, stuff that you wanted to talk about? Anything? I don't know. I'm here.
You and your friends have faced more threats than anyone should ever have to encounter unwillingly. And I am sad to say that more is coming. But for now, in this moment, all are safe. And you may find some peace and rest.
Thank you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get some rest. My body's not doing well. I think that's pretty
Yes.
obvious.
Go get your sleep. And who knows, maybe then tomorrow will bring better health for all involved.
I hope so. I'll see you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. And honestly, I think Serana's gonna fall asleep in her ritual circle.
Sure.
Out.
Andre, after seeing to Kiberly making sure she's sleeping and resting. We'll walk through the various rooms, see your candles maybe still going, and put them out. Okay. Drape a cloak over your shoulders. And the next morning, the sun breaks through the clouds, and everyone will wake at their own discretion.
What did we say our health regen was for sleep? A long rest?
I
forgot
somebody
how we
had that
calculated
note.
that. It was either level plus con.
No, I think it was level times con.
Times?
I don't remember. I've got it written down somewhere. I just.
How much do you heal on a long rest in Pathfinder 2nd Edition?
Well, I also had a different calculation though, because I didn't
Yeah.
like.
Homebrew rule. Okay.
Yeah, because it was.
Yeah, I got 18 hit points from that. That's it.
Yeah. If it's level times my con score.
Resting. Let's see. Normally, you would get a hit points equal to your Constitution modifier multiplied by your level. Oh, what didn't I say that it was your, not your score times your level, because that would be way too many.
Was it score plus level?
That's way too low.
Yeah,
That is way too low.
Until I can find it again, Constitution modifier times your level times 2.
Okay. So,
times your level times 2.
That's
still okay.
Wait, that's the one that Pathfinder gives you?
No, Pathfinder 2nd Edition is just your Constitution modifier times your level.
Oh, okay.
I'm doubling that.
Gotcha.
So that's not that much.
Yeah, you can figure out the numbers.
So should I just add essentially to whatever I got through Foundry, just double that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or long rest twice.
Yeah, but Vampire Bites, the temporary hit points only last an hour, so. But, I mean, that the second wind is essentially like getting an 8-hour rest, so. Normal, not by my homebrew rules. All right, so. You wake up, Andre and his partner Legan will have some breakfast available for everyone. And while everybody is eating, I assume that Aheerah is still up with Kiberly. Yeah, figured as much. Bring a plate up to you. And check on Kiberly, change any bandages that need to be changed. Andre will smear this ointment on her lips, and it will dry hard. So it's almost like a plaster to hold her lips from moving.
How does she look? I mean, I know how she looks. What is she gonna be okay? Physically?
Well, physically, I mean, she'll heal, but speaking and using her mouth will be. She'll need some practice using it all again.
But she can do that. She'll get there.
That's gonna be entirely up to her. She'll have to put in some work, and it'll be hard work.
She can't lose her ability to talk. It's what she does.
Well, either she learns to overcome, or she'll need to find a new line of work. Does she play any instruments? Oh. Sorry, really, again, it's going to be up to her.
How are the others? My friend. How are they?
Sorry, say that again?
How are the others? My friends, how are they?
All exhausted, and they'll probably need some longer time resting to start feeling better, get more energized, but I think a night's sleep did everybody good. Did you get any? Good.
I fell asleep. And I generally recover well.
Oh, good. Elle, if there's anything you need me to see to, I'll be around. Doing I owe Camsa a couple favors, so.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Everybody else, you're eating elsewhere. There'll be a gentle knock at the door, kitchen door, I guess. Just to notify you that Fagin is coming in. And he is followed by a stranger. In a uniform of sorts. A butler's uniform, or valet, perhaps. Everybody, good morning. This here is John. And he says he's here to see you.
Well, John, take a seat.
That is quite all right. I shall remain standing, as I will only be here presently to deliver you this. And he reaches into his coat and pulls out an envelope and hands it to Archie.
I'll take it.
On the front is scrawled Archibald. Flipping it over, it is sealed with wax. And in the middle of the wax is emblazoned a very fancy calligraphy F. Sir Frost is inviting you to his manor and would like to speak with you presently.
Thank you, John.
Shall I deliver your response?
Archie, we're in no shape.
You can tell Sir Frost that we thank him for his gracious invitation. However, we are in no shape to travel at the present time, as I'm sure he well knows.
He is, and does. Very well. The invitation is open for when you are feeling healthier. The address can be found inside. Simply send word ahead, and I will make sure everything is set and ready for your arrival.
What medium should that word best take?
A letter will do.
Thank you.
Very good. Have a pleasant day. And he will kind of click his heels, give a quick bow, and turn and exit.
Without opening the letter, Archie's going to toss it into the middle of the table and just face in hands.
Well, if you're not gonna open it, I'm gonna open it.
Go ahead. Ugh.
Serana snatches it out of the just tear into it.
What does it say?
Breaking the wax seal, you pull out what's very much a simple invitation for each of the named Threadchasers to attend a dinner with Sir Frost at his residence.
We're gonna have to find nicer clothes, aren't we?
Here's like,
That
I'm
is
not
the
getting dressed up for this
least-
shit.
Is the least of our problems.
Who says we're going? But I'm not there.
Listen. Is why am I already forgetting their name? The one who's been taking care of all of us.
Andre?
Yes. Is Andre nearby?
He was up with Aheerah, but
Okay.
will be making his way down very shortly.
Whenever he makes it down,
Mhm.
I have a question to ask.
Sure.
When do you think it best? Her family is very concerned, and I told them that when she was... When can they come see her?
Now granted, I am not a licensed physician or a chirurgeon. I am doing my best here. But I would say that it would be best if we kept her asleep for as long as possible until her wounds can heal. And she can be ready for the internal healing.
Would it be disruptive of them to just come see her? Or should that wait? I don't know how this works.
I suppose if they have a good relationship, then, and they're not going to be disruptive in general. As long as she's asleep, I don't see any issue.
Okay. Okay. I'll think about it. Thank you. Sorry. I just don't know how this. I've never. This is a whole new thing for me. Sorry.
Yes, it's. I can't say that I've ever treated a torture survivor as such. Torture is not a common thing in the snowfield. But I have treated one or two returning mercenaries, fighters, who have egregious wounds. And well, everyone's different.
I suppose. That's all I had to ask. Thank you for everything.
Of course. All for my dear friend Cam. Who kind of perks up at the mention piece of toast, like taking it out of her mouth. All right. Breakfast finishes up. Where to from here? Or are you planning on just resting for a while?
I am going to attempt to talk to Aheerah.
To be fully forthcoming, player me is trying to think of any reason that would pull Aheerah away from Kiberly.
Can't think of any?
She's already gotten revenge. Simon is dead. So, character-wise, good luck. But if y'all come into the room with her, but there's not a lot of other stuff that's happening in games. So, just know, good luck. I will do my best not to make it too difficult and cause too much fellow player strife.
Cam's, sorry, real quick. Cam's will, as Serana gets up to, I assume, go talk with Aheerah, will kind of lean into Archie. You know, that bed was really comfortable. We could just, I don't know, just chill all day. I don't have anything to do.
That's a very tempting offer. Okay, let's go.
she tosses in, excuse us, over to Finn and drags Archie out.
And here Archie was thinking about what does he got to do today? What is the plan? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna figure out? Nope.
And poor Finn's just left there, you know.
Oh, she's just 1,000-yard stare like the world doesn't exist.
Oh.
So Serana, you'll.
Before Serana comes up,
Yep.
and after Andri. How do you
Andri.
spell
Yeah. Ondri.
Okay. Before Andri, after Andri leaves, before Serana comes up, well, I should ask, do I have any way anymore to contact my sister? Do I have anything of hers? Do I have anything at all?
Mm-mm.
Damn. Oh, then I would like to send up a quick prayer, so to speak. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to that.
Okay.
To Manira? Is that
Yep.
her name?
Mhm.
Just kind of a blanket help, give me strength, help Kiberly, help me find Anna, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But it's not going to be, I'm not going to be showing when I do it or anything. It's really just kind of a whisper into the void.
Sure. Okay. Serana, you knocking on the door?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a soft knock at the door.
I'll just come in.
She'll let's kind of poke, like you'll see her ears first. I'm just gonna poke her head around. Is now a bad time?
I'll just look over at Kiberly and then look over back at you and just tilt my head.
I said it. Fine, and she'll just come in the room and slowly close the door. I wanted to apologize.
For what?
I should have thought. I should have thought it through a little bit more when I was going to tell the Doves about Kiberly. You're right.
I shouldn't have
But
gotten angry with you.
You were hurt. And I understand. This is very difficult for all of us, but for you and for Kiberly,
Did you know she might never be able to speak again?
You see Serana's eyes kind of almost flicker this like flame in the whiteness of her eyes. She just I am so glad that I watched him die in front of me, if that is exactly how they treated her.
It's my fault.
No, it's not.
It only took her to get to me.
Simon was an undead monster who had it out for you, basically, for no reason, in my opinion. All they had was their own things to gain. And they took what they could, where they knew it would be a sensitive topic, where it would hurt the most. It had nothing to do... I don't think it was personal. And it wasn't your fault that is exactly what happened.
I would argue
Sure.
It's very personal. That's why they did it.
It didn't start
not-
that way, I don't think. It's the torture itself, yes, that's personal, but the getting to us specifically, I don't know. They're dead. It could have been worse. But it's terrible, and I am horrible at comforting people in times of need. I came here to apologize and also to tell you that I'm thinking about bringing the family over whenever she's asleep, and if that's bad, I wanted to tell you first, because if I don't tell you first, then you're going to get upset with me whenever they do show up, and I don't want to get upset with me again because that felt really gross. And
Pause. And rewind. You think it could have been worse?
They could have been dead.
And we have no idea how she will recover. If she will recover. We might have lost the one thing that she loves most. She might never be able to speak again. That is what she does. And to lose something like that, for some, is a fate worse than death. And when she finally wakes up, she won't even be able to give me an answer about how she feels about that. She'll have to write it out, if anything. I don't care if her family comes to see her. I think they deserve to see her. My fear about yesterday was she would not let anyone touch her. And it took everything in me to respect that. And I am not her wife. I am not her family. It will be much harder for them. It was much harder for them. I truly don't see how this could be worse. I feel as if I've lost everything somehow.
You're not the only one.
I will reach out my hand to you to beckon you over.
She'll stare at it for a second and then walk towards you.
I will clutch your hands and just pull you to me and hug you. And I'll just stand like that for a while.
After a few moments of being absolutely stiff, she will crumble in your arms. And just keep repeating that she's sorry. Over and over and over.
You'll get a whispered, I forgive you, and also a whispered, I'm sorry as well.
And I think that is a good button in which to end our session tonight. Thank you all, my brave cast, for being truly vulnerable in this session, really going to those emotional depths and connecting with these characters. I hope that our audience has enjoyed this emotional roller coaster, enjoyed the feels. And thank you for being here. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate you coming out and supporting our beautiful story, because it truly is very, very, very beautiful. Yeah. Thank you all. I have been your Game Mistress Winter. You can find me at gmistresswinter on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Yes. I am a writer, graphic designer, aspiring voice actress, and all-around TTRPG hobbyist. You can find me here at the Facite every Monday, and I run tech for Ravenwood on Thursdays, so you see me very briefly at the beginning of those shows. You will also start hearing me a little bit more, as this month we are releasing the first episodes of All Our Faults, a Monster Hearts 2 actual play podcast, which will be available anywhere you get your podcasts. Well, most places you get your podcasts. I don't know, but you should be able to find it just about anywhere. I am very excited. These shows, or the show, is shaping up to be so intense right from the get-go, and I love it. And yeah, we've got the wonderful Abby Marie Carter in it, and we are planning on a release date of October 18th for the first episode, though there may be a teaser or two before that, if I get the time. We'll find out. You'll see. So just keep an eye on my socials for more information about that. That is all going to be produced through the Tabletop Tailspinners Network. And yeah, so that's going to be great. All right. How about you, Dennis? What you got going on?
Oh, man. A lot, but all of it is behind the scenes. So I can tell you about stuff, but you're not going to see it for a while. I've got, let's see, tomorrow I've got a private game where my artists for Sagas are going to be meeting for the first time. We're going to play a little game of Sagas together. The day after that, I've got an interview with RPG Goblin about Sagas and all the stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen the questions they're going to ask me yet. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's going to be fun. I know that much. Then on Friday evening, we will be hosting it'll be a community event to kick off the spooky season. Some Jackbox monster-seeking monster and trivia murder party. Seems the most appropriate way to start off October. Then I have a recording for Improv Madness with our friends from Tabletop's Tailspinners Network. And the day after that, I will be also recording with them again.
Wonderful.
And then I think that's Monday. So you'll have to wait to hear about the rest of the cool stuff that's happening next week.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, definitely check out what Dennis has got going on. Sagas is a great game. If you are interested in seeing any of the actual play for that, I do have 2 of the 3 Horizon Ursa Mother episodes on VOD on Mistress Winter's Court's YouTube channel. So go check them out and you can see how Sagas is really shaping up to be a fun and very versatile game. So definitely check that out. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Abby.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abby Marie Carter, a New York-based aspiring actor, writer, and all-around nerd. I played Aheerah tonight and cried a lot, and I'm still crying. It's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine. If my brain could work, that'd be great. As far as other things that I do, besides being here every Monday playing our poor traumatized
Doll.
doll. Vampire Bites is not so much that I'm getting used to staying up late. It's that I work all day, starting at 5 a.m. and then stay up late to do this. So that's mainly
which I truly appreciate.
Oh yeah, I mean it's so worth it. I love every second of it, but sometimes I start yawning, unfortunately, during the end of the episodes, and I feel so bad. Anyway, I am on Ravenwood here on Mistress Winter's Court every Thursday. I run that game. It's a Monster Hearts 2 campaign. It's a gothic horror murder mystery set in a monster college, and we're getting ready to enter our last month or so of episodes with a finale tentatively planned for November 15th. So we'll see how it goes. I'm having a lot of fun running that. So check it out if you're interested. I'm pretty sure the VODs, or most of the VODs, if not all of them, are on Mistress Winter's Court YouTube. So please
Everyone
check
but
that
the
out.
last one.
I have a really, really wonderful cast. Yeah. I have been in some Tabletop Tuesday stuff here on Mistress Winter's Court. I was on a Sagas playtest over on Dennis's channel, the KSDM, called Grimm. It's a 3-part mini Sagas playtest, and it was a lot of fun, and he played a little mouse, and yeah, definitely go check that out. It was also a murder mystery type thing. So apparently I have a theme.
Oh, and you have the Delta Green game coming up.
Yeah, I was getting to it.
Oh, sorry. You were talking about previous stuff, so I was like...
I'm trying to go through all of it. Hang on, I'm getting there.
All right.
I usually go through channel by channel. As Winter mentioned, I will be on the Tabletop Tailspinners Network with the podcast All Our Faults, where I will be playing it's yet another Monster Hearts 2 campaign. I'm a little obsessed with that system. It may or may not be my favorite. but I am playing a fan-made skin called The Hunted, and I'm very excited to continue exploring her and to put that out there. I will also be on a Delta Green game with the Phantom Arts Festival on October 21st, which is going to be run by the lovely Juicy Garland, who is also involved with All Our Faults and also in my Ravenwood game as one of my players. So that'll be a lot of fun. I've never played Delta Green, and they have told me that they are very much so looking forward to being able to pay me back for all the torture I show them every Thursday.
Yeah.
So that should be a good time. I think that is pretty much it. I have some creative writing projects in the works, but nothing concrete yet. But stay tuned. Maybe I'll actually start posting on my social media again, so it will, be revealed. We'll see. But yes, other than that, thank you so much, everyone. I cried a lot tonight, and I appreciate the safe space to be able to do so and to be able to share this vulnerable story with all of you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Abby. How about you, Joey?
I'm Joey. I play Delphinium on Mondays with the Facite. I used to play an equally traumatized Flynn Thorne, a young activist and bodyguard. Our hiatus for Starbottled is indefinite, so sorry everyone. Well, I guess I'll bring it up once I know something, but the VODs are up on YouTube if you want to watch. Other than that, I do the occasional art and cosplay. I want to do something for Halloween. It's hard to find time. But you can find me at Prince Perry Pastille on Twitter and TikTok. I'm Dragon's Son in the Mistress Winter's Court Discord. Yeah. If you have any questions, I can answer. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, Joey. And our lovely Jojo.
Oh boy, guys. I'm Joe. I played Serana tonight, and I am just oh boy. This was a really hard episode. But I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. I love everybody in this group and Winter and our wonderful audience. Thank you guys for being here and kind of supporting us at all fronts. Because sometimes our dice like us. And it happens. But I hang out on the Discord sometimes. I like giving creative ideas like names and stuff. So if you ever have trouble naming a character, or you want background questions for a character, I have an enormous amount of those things, because former theater teacher. So just hit me up, okay? I'm also on the Indefinite Hiatus show with Joey. I play a barbarian wizard named Lucy, who is a scientist by day, rave goer by night. I think that's the best way to put that. So, I'm also super down to do other things if people want to do other things, like play more games, because totally here for that. It's just hit a girl up, yo. I'm on the Discord, and my ex name is Mary Happy too. Oh yeah, and I go to Ren Fair with 3 people in the chat, and I will be there this weekend.
I went there yesterday, actually.
Heyo!
It was fun. Well, thank you all. We really appreciate you. We hope that you have a wonderful week, a great weekend, and that you will come back to Reclaim Mondays with us when we enter the Facite once again. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you next time.